Hi everybody, it's math time, and I brought these home. So you would see these in the classroom. I would put these on the board behind my kidney table, and these are the ones that we would have up for the lessons that we are in right now. So we're hoping that by the end of second grade, you can say, I can measure and estimate lengths of an object. For example, if I said, how long do you think this is? Would you be able to make an approximate correct guess using the correct number and the correct measurement word? Would it be a foot? Would it be inches? Would it be 16 yards? Can you do that? And then can you actually measure it? I can use different tools to measure the objects. So then if you had that stapler at the table, would you be able to choose the correct tool and then measure it properly? We would also look at being able to measure and compare the length of an object using two different units. Back to the stapler, you measure it in both centimeters and inches. And could you record both of those answers? Could you then compare them? I can estimate using inches, feet, centimeters, and meters. So again, being able to estimate how many inches would this be? Do you think this is a foot? How many centimeters is this? How many meters is this? It says estimating. Now that does not say being able to measure to the most accurate number on the tool that you're using. It says estimating, which means making your best guess. We also have, I can tell the differences in the lengths of two different objects. That is being able to measure individually and then compare those two items. Greater than, less than, equal to. Which one's more? Good questions to ask yourself when we get into our scavenger hunt this week. And the last thing we're going to do on Thursday and Friday and Wednesday too, I can use addition and subtraction to solve measurement word problems. So that's going to be, we're going to figure out, are we adding, are we subtracting, taking away, borrowing, regrouping, all of those fun things that we've learned throughout the year to put our measurement into real life situations. So these are what we, again, would have had up on the board behind the kidney table. So I wanted to share them with you from home. So I knew that you guys would want to ask questions like, why are there inches and why are there centimeters and why do different places use different things? So I went ahead and I did a little research, and I found out that the International System of Units, which is called the metric system, is used in all but 3 countries throughout the world. To make that social studies connection, we would have looked at a map and we would have seen the 3 countries that use the inches and feet and yards like we do. Now, everything else in blue uses the metric system, which is the millimeters, centimeters, meters, and kilometers. And we, in the red, use inches, feet, yards, and miles. So we've got one country right there, which was formerly Burma. Now it is Myanmar, and that one is in the continent of Asia. And then over here we have Liberia, which is in West Africa. And then over here we have the United States of America in North America. And fortunately, I know my students know that up here is not another country, but that is the state of Alaska, where the Iditarod race is run, and it is one of the non-continental states of America. So it's the 48 states that are attached, and then there are those other 2 states. There's Alaska. Can you find Hawaii? Like I showed you earlier, my ruler has both ways to measure. On the one side, we have inches, and you can see that we start right here at that first line. We talked about it earlier, but you do not want to start measuring at the edge of the ruler. There's this whole little section of space that is then unaccounted for. And it's quite a bit of space, actually. So when you are measuring, remember to line up whatever it is right there on that edge. For example, I would not want to do this. I would want to go right there. See that difference? And then on the other side of the ruler, we do have that same concept with that white. You can see the white behind that extra space, and it's kind of even bigger on that one. So you want to start measuring right at that line instead of at the edge of your measuring tool. So let's look at the assignments for the week. We've got measure to the nearest inch in centimeter, set 1. And set 2. So I'm going to demonstrate an example off set 1 for you. We have the measurement scavenger hunt and the measurement word problems, set 1 and set 2. I'm going to demonstrate a measurement scavenger hunt for you and one of the word problems from problem set 2. All right, so let's take a look at this assignment. It tells us to measure to the nearest inch and centimeter. Use a ruler to measure the items below. Let's make sure that when we measure them in whichever way we think it's going to be the most solid answer. Meaning, like with the hairbrush, if we measure this little spot right here, we're going to get a very different answer than your teacher who measures it going this way. So kind of think to yourself, which way do I think it's going to be measured? For all these items on this page, it would be in this direction. And on the other side, I would continue. They actually draw a line for you to show you here which way. So we're going to go that way, and then this line goes sideways, and this line goes sideways. This one comes back here. This one is this way, and this one is this way also. So the only two that you're going to hold your ruler in the horizontal or vertical, which one? It's vertical. You're only going to hold it in the vertical direction for the lightning bolt and the raindrop. Back to the other side. All right, so let's go ahead and measure the, I was going to say glasses, but let's go with the hairbrush. I'm going to start with the inches because they do ask for the inches first. Now remember what I said, we want to start at that line, not at the edge of the ruler. See, it's on my eyeball right there. Put it right there, and then I'm going to slide it down so that I can clearly see and show you guys. We're estimating that at approximately 5 inches long. So go ahead and write that in. A nice clear 5. And then we're going to turn the ruler around and measure again. Now here for centimeters, when I line it up at that line, I come to 12 and I'm really at that line in the middle, which we determined was a 5. So that would be 12 and a half. Now it does say nearest inch or centimeter. So you could go with either option, 12 or 13, just be able to explain your answer why. Because for measuring, I would always go bigger because I feel like it's better to have more space or more fabric or more fencing, more tile. You know, I always think of measuring and I think of my home projects, and it's always better to have more to work with than not enough. So if I was doing this, I would put it actually at the 13, knowing that later when we round, we get to that halfway point, we do teach 5 and above rounds you up. So for the scavenger hunt, the first thing I'm going to do is figure out all of the measurements that I'm going to go searching for. So I'm going to highlight those. By doing this, I was able to find some similarities. I know that my ruler is 12 inches long. So when I see this one that says 12 inches, I'm going to look for something that's the same size as this. But then I also notice, how long is that on the centimeter side? Number 4. Now we don't want to use the same item that is this long, but it makes it easy to look for things around my house if I know that I'm looking for ones that are the length of the ruler. If the whole ruler is 30 centimeters long and I have one that's asking for 20 centimeters, well, I'm just going to think about that's 2/3 of the ruler. And then 20 centimeters is kind of close to how many inches? Well, it's around the 4-inch mark. Is there anything here that said, oh, wait, what? See, but 20 centimeters isn't actually at the 4-inch. Look, 20 centimeters is this long. But when you flip my ruler over, it's kind of a magic trick. 4 inches is only this long. So 4 inches is actually the same as 10 centimeters. We would have made that into magic. All right, so since the chickens started chirping, I'm going to go measure one and see if there's anyone that matches up to my scavenger hunt, and I'll be right back. Okay, so with the math that we just had in regards to the 4 and the 10, it's not on this page, but I'm going to challenge someone to come up with the answer. The chicken nearest inch was 8. So if the chicken was 8 inches tall, 8 inches, my question to you is how many, about approximately, estimate how many centimeters is that? So let's pick a word problem. Of course, I'm going to go with Amy, number 5. Amy has a piece of paper 8 inches long. Kate's paper is 3 inches shorter than Amy's paper. How many inches long is Kate's piece of paper? We'll solve that one in inches. And then let's take another one where we're given some answers to choose from. And let's take number 9. Bethany has a mailbox that is 3 feet tall. She is 2 feet taller than the mailbox, which is shorter. I'm also going to do number 4. Patty's burger is 4 inches tall. I could go for a burger. Laura's burger is 2 inches shorter than Patty's. Noah's, hey Noah, burger is 2 inches taller than Patty's. Who has the shortest burger? Here we see a couple different types of word problems. We see ones that are done in a one-step word problem and ones that we would call a two-step word problem. So for our first one, number 5, Amy has a piece of paper that is 8 inches long. So I am just going to go ahead and draw what could be a piece of paper, and that is 8 inches long. Kate's paper is 3 inches shorter. So I'm going to think Kate's paper is shorter by 3 inches. Now that tells me that I want to subtract 5 inches. How many inches long is Kate's piece of paper? Well, again, if this was Amy's paper, and Amy's paper is 8 inches long, and we said Kate's paper is 3 inches shorter, then Kate's paper is 5 inches long. There's our answer for number 5. Moving down to number 9, Bethany has a mailbox that is 3 feet tall. I always liked math because sometimes I could just spend the time drawing a little picture and it would make me happy. So math can allow you to sometimes be artistic as long as you're not dilly-dallying and spending all the time on the drawing. Keep it simple, students. Bethany has a mailbox that is 3 feet tall. So her whole mailbox is 3 feet tall. And there's no point in drawing the picture in math class if you're not giving it the details of the mathematical word problem. She is 2 feet taller than the mailbox. So I'm going to draw Bethany standing behind the mailbox, maybe even reaching into it. And she is plus 2 feet. If it's taller, I know that I am going to add. So now we have 3 plus 2 equals 5. Better give her legs. Bethany is 5 feet tall. For our last problem, we're going to have hamburgers. Now, I'm not actually going to draw hamburgers. I'm just going to use the letter H. So Patty's burger is 4 inches tall. So I'm just going to draw an H, and I'm going to put the 4 all the way. Laura's burger is 2 inches shorter. So Laura, and let's put inches. She's 2 inches shorter, so that is a minus 2 inches to figure out Laura's burger. Well, now I know that Laura's burger is a 2-inch burger because 4 minus 2 equals 2. And then we have Noah's burger, who is 2 inches taller than Patty. So we got to come back up here to Patty, who had the 4-inch burger, and know that now we have to go with a plus 2 because Noah's is taller. So Noah is a 4 plus 2. Noah has a hamburger of 6 inches. Who has the shortest hamburger? Well, here we see Patty, and we see Laura, and we see Noah. Comparing them, we've got Laura coming in at 2 inches, Patty with the 4-inch burger, and then Noah, my kind of kid, with a 6-inch burger. Whose is the shortest? Circle the name. So throughout this video, I tried to show you some of the different strategies that we might use, or some of the different expansions that we might have in our math lessons. Math at this time is a lot of exploring and letting the children kind of find things on their own, and then encouraging them to ask the questions that lead to further thinking. It's a lot of fun to watch students understand math in their own way, using tools and manipulatives. One of my favorite moments this year, actually many of them have been math-based, and there are some pictures in the yearbook that some students will be very proud of those math moments. So if you haven't yet, head on over to Tree Ring and purchase a yearbook for our school year together. They're going to be really, really wonderful. One of the things that we did in the beginning of the year was called a 3-act task. And we did this after my birthday with the balloons that Miss Harris had used to decorate for me. And the kids wanted to know all about the confetti that was inside. So we came up with a math question that allowed us to pop the balloon to count the confetti. You guys remember that? I thought, what would be a fun 3-act task that I could do at my house that would involve measuring? So came up with one. Which chick, and I'm going to use the baby chicks because they are easier to catch, is the tallest. I already know which one is the smallest. It is Pepe. He is tiny. So, which chick is the tallest? And I'm going to ask this question. And before I can go on to the next step, I have to think, how would I solve that question? And this is where the math comes in. I'm going to ask you, and you are going to tell me on teams, how would I solve this? What type of directions would I follow? What type of tools would I need? Could you create the worksheet or the handout if I wanted you to? Right here. And then, of course, step 3 is where we solve. So I'm going to go ahead and complete this 3-act task here at home. I'm sharing this with you to maybe encourage you to find something that you can do like this. You can always make a little poster if you want and share it on the team. Use your creativity and your imagination, your ruler, your yardstick, your tape measure, and have some fun this week.